For nearly 20 years, a monster walked the streets of New York, hidden behind a suit, a tie, and a Manhattan's architect's license. Since 2010, the Gilgo Beach Monster was a ghost story that haunted Long Island. He took a scenic stretch of Ocean Parkway and made it his personal grave site. We're talking 11 bodies found, no leads, and a community paralyzed that this monster could be living next door. Today, we're going to take a deep dive into the architect of nightmare, Rex Heuermann, the man. The ghost finally got a name in 2023, Rex Heuermann. To his neighbors in Massapequa Park, he was just a quiet, slightly odd family man. To the city, he was a successful professional, but to the women he hunted, he was a calculated executioner. He didn't just kill, he curated a double life of suburban normalcy while spending his nights documenting a literal blueprint for murder on his home computer, a deleted file where he checked off tasks like body prep and cleaning, as if he was managing a high risk construction site. The evidence, the breakthrough didn't come from a dramatic shootout, it came from a piece of crust. Investigators followed Hyman to Midtown and watched him toss a pizza box and pulled the DNA that linked him to a hair found on a burlap sack that he used to wrap a victim. From there, the dominoes fell. Burner phones, 200 guns found in his home, and a digital trail of violent pornography that proved this wasn't a mistake. This was a
Rex
lifestyle.
Heuermann was expected to plead guilty early next month. You might recall he was arrested back in 23. He is charged in the deaths of 7 women. His arrest stems from multiple sets of remains discovered more than a decade ago. Authorities say they don't believe they're all connected. The trial was expected to start later this year. And so far, there are no new details about the potential agreement. As we learn more, we'll bring it to you.
The breaking point. But why is this the only case that anyone is searching today? Because as of April 1st, 2026, the game is officially over. For 3 years, Rex Hyman has sat behind glass, smugly pleading not guilty, while his lawyers called the DNA junk science. But the wall of forensic truth has officially crushed him. The bombshell. Major sources confirmed just days ago that next Wednesday, April 8th, Rex Hyman will walk into a courtroom and do the unthinkable. He is expected to plead guilty to the murders of 7
And
women.
the evidence is pretty overwhelming, according to prosecutors. I mean, not only are we looking at a hard drive that they say they took from Rex Heuermann's house that showed planning documents, which would show premeditation. And when I say a planning document, like it is unbelievable what was found on his hard drives that had been deleted. Very disturbing things about how he would allegedly plan for these murders, but also the DNA evidence that they were able to get from both Heuermann's family members, and these victims.
So there will be no trial, no more excuses, just a confession from a man who thought he was smarter than the world. So today, we aren't just looking at headlines. We're dissecting the final days of a serial killer's freedom. We're looking at the blueprint documents that sealed his fate and the secret notifications that were sent to the families of the victims that finally brought the architect of death to his knees. So buckle in, because the details that's coming out of this plea deal are darker than any horror movie you've ever seen. Hey, this the living Dexter right here, man. I wouldn't be surprised if they make a movie, a documentary, a biopic, or something about this man. This man is sick, deranged, depraved, malevolent, sinister. Man, this dude is, he a crazy dude, man. So as we sit here today on April 1st, 2026, the silence that's coming from that small, cluttered house in Massapequa Park is deafening. For decades, Rex Hyman lived a life of ultimate control, controlling his blueprints, controlling his family and the darkest hours of the night, controlling the fate of the women that he thought the world had forgotten. He spent 15 years thinking he was the smartest man in the room, taunting victim families from burner phones and blending in the rush hour crowd in Midtown Manhattan. But that control evaporated. Between the blueprint for murder found in his own hard drive and the DNA profile that pulled him out of the shadows, the architect of death found himself trapped in a structure he couldn't design his way out of. When he walks into that courtroom next Wednesday, April 8th, he won't be that powerful professional he pretended to be. He will be a 62-year-old man facing the reality that he will breathe his last breath behind a set of iron bars. To my followers and supporters, I want to thank you for riding with me through the twists and the turns of this investigation. We watched the evidence pile. Now it's time to watch the gavel fall. So make sure you have your notifications on because soon as Rex Heuermann stands up to hear the word guilty, the world is going to shake. Once again, it's been fun. I want to thank you for tuning in to What the Hell's Going On News. My name is Aki. Stay vigilant. God bless. Peace.